Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into our second game of the day. This is Envision versus Lucent. At the moment, Lucent are 3-8. They are not having particularly the greatest run of it, as Envision are in a much better spot, 5-6.
Yeah, 5-6 still. Not in the most comfortable position. However, taking a look at Viperio's games, they've got Eminem to play next week as well. So I'm talking about a team that's right below them as well in the standings in terms of relegation talks. And then they have to play, Viperio actually have to play Lucent themselves. So final game of the split for Viperio and Lucent, both pretty big when you talk about the relegations. But yeah, obviously the match here that we're talking about today, Envision Lucent. So I think Envision, they've been looking much better in recency. I think also you can kind of say the same thing about Lucent. They seem to have found, a gear that kind of works a little better for them. That being said, there are definitely still some questions around certain things about Lucent. In particular, sometimes their drafts are a bit not great in terms of pure objectivity. But again, they're a very creative team. Obviously, we've seen them sort of run this 10-man roster thing. Today, they're actually running a sub in the jungle. Again, yesterday they had Demo, which was quite the sight to behold. We haven't seen Demo in the UK League.
Wait, Demo's back?
Demo came back and played a game for Lucent yesterday. You missed it. And Lord. Today, they're running Rydona, who I thought Rydona was a manager. Not sure what's going on there, but he has subbed in for Lucent. He's playing today. So we'll have to see how that goes, because again, jungle, very impactful role. You sub it out at, any point during the split. Typically, it's going to cause shake-ups in the infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. You remember, like you said, there's not many games left, so you need to make sure these wins do count. We have had a slight delay getting ready to go into the game. Unfortunately, players aren't quite ready. That last game was quite quick, to be fair to them, so they may not have been ready to start straight away.
Gotta get under that rule of thumb, man. 15 minutes at the very latest, you should be.
Yes,
should be around.
I'm looking at you, team. I'm not going to say on air, not going to out publicly.
I mean, that's what we did. At least during my entire tenure on them, and it didn't matter who was the head coach or who the manager was. Always 15 minutes before regular, you have to be absolutely ready to play.
It wouldn't stand on the NLC. So
yeah. But no, sort of returning back to Envision Lucent.
Yeah,
it should be an exciting game, because I think Lucent seem to have this very weird tenacity about them where they don't typically seem to roll over if they start to fall behind, at least in their most recent fixtures. And for Envision, they've been looking like a sort of ramping up, slightly more threatening team game by game at the moment. And I mean, at least in their last 5, they've only lost to Enclave and Resolve, 2 teams in the top half of the table. So they're looking pretty good as far as form goes for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it does look like Excellent has finally joined. Yes, Excellent. I'm going to call you out. We are getting ready to go into the lobby for our first game of the day. Second game of the day. I'm on a bit of a brain fart there. I mean that first game was over so quick. It wasn't really a game. It was just someone speedrunning League of Legends. Hopefully this is a bit more of a game. Now, with the Ziggs and the Xin Zhao band away, pretty much the standard, the expected things to go. After seeing the Nocturne again, it's still strong. So probably want to see that band away as well as the Karma.
Yeah, so a lot of sort of irritating priority picks that Envision tend to lean on being removed away here from Lucent. So Target in that sense, obviously these picks sort of on the edge / in meta at the moment. But it does leave room for things like Akali, things like Nocturne to potentially beat up, and other sort of strong picks right below that as well, like the Diana and the Step.
The Viego also going to get denied away. See what the next band's going to be. The Akali's open, the Nocturne's open, the Volibear is open. Varus Ezreal. I mean, there's a lot of strong. There's a lot of strong picks here. But they're going to deny the Kog'Maw from Fuyu. They'll be worried about some kind of scaling options potentially coming in from the side of Envision. And obviously, I feel like the Lulu would have been a good ban if you just want to ban the Kog'Maw, because Lulu's also good on her own without a Cog.
And Envision do play it, at least through the top side. If I recall correctly, it was DBL that ran it at least once this split. So, I mean, for Envision now, let's say, they should move away the Nocturne, and then Lucent go, okay, let's first pick that, I don't know, something that they really enjoy playing, right? It was.
Oh, Gwen. Of course, Gwen's open.
Gwen, right. But now Envision get Diana set. And personally, I would prefer Diana set over Gwen in most scenarios, especially when you consider if Envision eventually want to. We saw DBL actually run the Jax into it and had a pretty good time. Now, obviously, Gwen can be flexed around, but Envision being on red side, they've got the option and the ability to see where most of these Envision picks are going to go. There's Diana for Juanitis. He's practically played it in at least like the last 3 or 4 games. I can't remember him playing anything else recently. Almost always had his hands on it. And actually, it's going to be the Thresh. They're going to pivot away from the set combination, which could spell out something like the Aphelios coming out for Fuyu on R3. We'll have to wait and see. And now I look towards Lucent and I say, honestly, it should be relatively telegraphed the kind of direction that Envision are going to go in. How are you going to dissuade this? Are you going to lock in something hyper aggressive on the top side? Are you going to try and at least lock in, a good support matchup into the Thresh, which I feel like you have to do at least that here with something like the Nautilus. Maybe the Leona as well can be a good option. But instead, hovering the Varus, I don't know about this direction. They are going to lock it in.
I guess they were worried about Varus fresh as a lane as well. When you got the Varus lethality in lane being a real pain, and then it's hard to punish him because of the Lantern.
Yeah.
Could be that, but like you said, still could just go for the not the Viego, sorry, the Aphelios, another broken champion. They could just let a lot of that in instead.
Because here's the thing, lethality Varus has been sort of considered a strong pick into the Aphelios, right? So maybe sort of a pick locked in to try and dissuade that lock-in. But Varus still needs a good support matchup to make that lane truly work, in my opinion at least. So now if Envision want to, they can just go, okay, Nautilus, bye, Leona, bye. And then you're kind of working on a subpar support matchup at best. And there's not really much you could do about it. And now I look towards Lucent and I say, okay, what are the options here? Set makes a lot of sense when you've got the Diana there. You could look to remove away the Jax as well, just because we saw DBL finally pull it out. And that would probably be my best guess at what we actually see Lucent do here.
Well, we'll see what the final ban's going to be. Probably will be that Leona, like you said, although Thresh typically has a pretty good matchup into Leona just because you can flay her out of the Zenith Blade. So maybe they're feeling comfortable, but you also don't have to worry about the Solar Flare. You can't really stop that as Thresh. They're just going to take away the Graves here. It was Monrobo that ran it mid lane. Yeah. So, and we spoke to them about that after that game, and they were like, yeah, now it's just something you have to ban away from us. Makes sense. I mean, it was honestly a good weak side mid laner where you just absorb farm and then just get 300 CS and one-shot people. Yone going to be the final ban here, and over to Envision to see what they're going to round their comp out. They're looking for a mid and a top laner right now. The Akali is still open mid lane. Don't know if they want to blind pick it, so we'll see what they're going to look for.
I mean, honestly, 2 Cups could, but I feel like his champion pool leans more into the ADs. You could just go Lucian here, to be honest. It's actually slipped all the way through. It would make a whole bunch of sense. But Akali as well, like we said, champion strength is bonkers, making all the way through to this stage of the draft. I feel like you wouldn't see it anywhere else but the UKLC. But now, over to Lucent. What are your options? What exactly are you going to look to actually do? Are you going to go for something like that, Leona? Are you going to go Alistar? Veigar could be a pretty
I actually love it.
And he is going to lock it in. And I mean, we saw him do it against practically half of the top side that we're seeing here from MNM, where in MNM's game, they were running Diana, Akali, Renekton, and quite frankly, the Veigar cage absolutely ruined that composition. And it's going to do the same thing to this composition here, especially when you talk about Aphelios wanting as much room to sort of navigate as possible. Having to work around those event horizons is going to be a near nightmare. I'm going to top it off with a Taric just for the sustain and like, additional diving.
You get past the cage and now you got the Cosmic Radiance. It's actually a really nice comp here by Lucent.
I'll be honest. In the first half, Lucent, you had me, but I love the way you rounded out this composition. Here, the Veigar should have a lot of value. I am yet to still obviously see Envision's final pick here, but likely not going to be a tank. And it's actually going to be a Yasuo lock-in. So Yasuo likely going to be in the mid lane. Akali, they probably will chuck up to the top side, though. We'll have to wait and see. It seems like that will be the case. 2 Cups been handed the Yasuo, and I believe the final trade should be that. So Akali up in the top side. We actually saw this combination run by XL in the LEC. I think it was the Duck and Marcoon running the Diana plus Yasuo combination. Obviously, the Moonfall has that displacement, which you can use the Last Breath on. So it's actually a pretty potent combination when you think about it. You hold, it's effectively an airborne stun. You hold the members that get pulled in to ensure that they get clipped by the Moonfall damage itself. So a lot to actually worry about in that sense. But getting there, finding that setup, going to be very difficult when you think about, the cage, some dazzle coming out, the dazzles coming out from Taric, because there is one thing I will say, that Yasuo being locked in can potentially negate that Cosmic Radiance, because there's a cast time, there's a channel time on it. A lot of that last breath plus moveful damage comes out in less than 2.5 seconds.
It's a very snappy one, and you can't press it while you're in the animation either. So if you don't channel it early, it's not coming down until people are going to be dead. So I still think though the Veigar is going to be a big nuisance. I'm sure, and I hope we see a big Moonfall Last Breath combination, but it's going to be hard for them to play around. They're very short range as a comp. And now they've also got a Veigar to shut them down. Like we said, we've got the Cosmic Radiance as well. And they've got lots of long-range arrows coming in from Excellent. I actually think this is going to be a very hard game for Envision. Now, they do have that wombo combo. And if they aren't punished and if they're able to get it off, team fighting it's just not going to be nice for Lucent. But if Lucent can just deny them that hard engage, then it's going to be Lucent. I think this game is really going to be down to execution. I think both comps have their merits and their clear strengths. It's definitely an execution thing for me.
Yeah, both teams clear strengths, both teams clear weaknesses as well. I think that realistically for Lucent, you're looking to try and scale to that point so that your Veigar's online, your Varus has that 2-item spike, and then you're looking to kind of get the ball rolling ASAP. And I look over to Envision and I say, you might be waiting for Akali to come online with her 1-item spike, but as far as Yasuo and Diana are concerned, as soon as you hit level 6, you're down to scrap. That's kind of it. You're not really too fussed about items. Items are great because they both scale wonderfully, but that's kind of it. And you can use these champions a bit as a bridge for the Aphelios in the later stages.
Well, it does look like we're through into the Rift for our second game of the day. And remember, this is a very important win for Lucent. They are still at the bottom of the tables and they need to find a win. Otherwise, with 2 games left, I don't think it's mathematically impossible for them to avoid relegation yet.
I will tell you right now.
There's 3 games including this one.
If they lose this game, they are confirmed relegations. I actually don't think they can escape.
Oh, so if they lose this game, relegations.
Yeah, if they lose this game, it's confirmed relegation.
Well, they need to win this game then. That's a good reason. We did have a quick disconnect though, so we have a little bit more time to chat. And Nata, and how you doing?
Yeah, good. I just got a new mic on. Came during the last break.
I know, I was there.
You was there. I wasn't quite able to set up in time. It's one of those nice, like fancy ones, the ones that all like podcasters have and stuff.
Oh, is it the Rode one?
Yeah, because I cheaped out on my first one because I just needed a mic arm, right? I had a stand, it was taking up too much room on my desk. So I was like, all right, my comp's gonna take up less room. And the clamp is just bad. It's just low quality. I'm looking at it now. It's why I'm looking down and away from the camera. It's just kind of messing up my desk a bit too. So ordered it, came just now. I got halfway through fixing it altogether, but hopefully I'll have it ready probably during this broadcast. Actually, I'll probably swap it.
I want one of those nice ones, but I genuinely don't have space myself.
You sent me a picture of your desk. Look at that.
That's
okay.
me. I've got.
You've sent me a picture of your desk.
It's quite heavy, that.
You do have enough room. Because do you want me to go and get the clamp? It's not that big.
No, I know it's not that big. The problem is where do I put it? Oh, he's off. No, all right. So the problem I have, because I know you can hear me, Jamada. There's just nowhere for me to attack it. I know that it's small.
It's tiny, bro.
I know it's small, man. Big. I've seen them. I've seen what they look like. But the problem is I have nowhere to put that because my legs on my table are.
But I've seen a picture of your desk, man.
I know. Where do I clip it?
On the side of the desk.
No, but if I clip it on the side of the desk, that's basically where my keyboard goes. Because I'm quite over.
No, it's not. I promise. It's gonna fit on your desk.
You don't sit at my desk every day, man.
No, I don't. But I've seen one picture, and that's enough. I promise. Okay.
I will show you a picture. I can't be bothered to do this on Twitter. I'm just gonna show you a picture in the break, and I'll talk you through why I can't get one of those things. As much as I'd love one, I can't get one. The reconnection is coming, so that's good.
Okay. We don't have to argue at each other anymore.
I want a new desk. I do want a new desk. And the thing is the problem with the new desk for me is I don't like. There's actually I want a bigger desk, but I don't actually have space because I'm basically slotted in like a window opening. So my room is a what do you call it, an attic conversion, so it's like that.
Right.
But then like there's a bit where the window goes out and that's flat, so I can get a desk in there. We had to cut my desk down to get it in here as well with a saw. cut it down so we could get the desk perfectly in here. But when I get some space and I get a bigger place to, have as an office, I'll try and get myself a large big boy desk, because that's the dream. That's what I want. Okay. Pause is ended.
Yeah.
And I can stop talking about my wants and needs. Yeah. What do you want, Jamada? What is it you want?
What do I want? Good question.
You're not a very materialistic person, are you?
No, I'm not.
That's a good trait, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody like me, you would think, would maybe be materialistic now, but I don't care. Like, material items are material items. You can't be experiences. You can't be time spent with people.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm very much in that thought process, but I also do like my creature comforts.
Oh yeah, sure.
I like things like, a nice desk with like a nice setup is nice, because that's your creature comforts. But having that doesn't beat out a holiday to, Switzerland or somewhere. I said Switzerland because it's gorgeous. Have you ever been to Switzerland?
I'm afraid not. Actually,
so beautiful.
There was like a Red Bull event out there.
Yes, yeah, that was when I went out.
I can't remember what it was exactly. Yeah, and I was kind of I was jealous because like I want to travel, man. I've funnily enough, I've never been out of the UK.
You've never been out at all at your house? Always inside.
No, but I've never traveled outside of the UK, especially now sort of being in esports, freelance, all that nonsense.
I mean, you got into casting
I feel like I'm right
at the worst time.
Huh?
You got into casting at the worst time, mate.
I really did, didn't I? Sotzi's looking for a cheeky level 1 trade.
He's going to be arranged for all this experience. He's just jump in with the old skip and slash, and DBL receiving a pretty horrible haircut, actually. One more skip and slash, and he might be in range. And also Knight! Burst blood to Sotzi!
Honestly, great stuff from Sotzi. Just recognizes the cheese, right? Akali doesn't have flash. He would have skilled Q at level 1. If you walk into her and then she's forced to walk back through you to get towards tower, there's nothing you can really do about that. Just great stuff. Level 2 just got hit by the bottom lane. Okay, looks like flash was forced, but yeah, you can see right here, DBL, he can't really walk down because Sotzi would have got the resets anyway, so he takes his chances, tries to go back to tower, just gets attacked and walked down with Ignite. Great start from Sotzi. Just understanding the matchup perfectly.
A little something from Targa.
Really nice. There's back in towards the bot lane. For you now playing without flash or cleanse, has to be oh so careful down here. Has also used up all his pots to sustain. Has got a wave shoving into him, and it's actually a fairly nice wave as he, at the end of this, should have a slight CS lead over his lane counterpart.
If he wants to get any of those as
we get a lot of damage off there. Old Stones is able to survive, as wasn't able to proc the blight stacks from Excellent.
Hail of Arrows was on cooldown, so wasn't able to get that additional chunk. 3 stacks too, so it would have been a nice additional bit of damage, maybe 80, 90 damage on that proc. But Rhydona on the Volibear has actually fledged top to bot, cleared out that skull. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get anything from the bottom side. So we'll just return back to farming. Just footnote, remember, this is Lucent's manager, Chunkling today for Lucent. So that means Jake, don't go too hard on him. He might do something that might be a little bit uncomfortable to see. But that's okay. It's a learning process for him too, I'm sure. As I don't expect too much action in the early game unless Rhydona actually finds an angle to attack one of these lanes. I think Quanitus, typically when he's been on this diner, has had pretty clear and concise jungle farm paths where he tries to rush Moonfall ASAP. Rhydona, though, is looking for the bottom side potentially. He'll be able to sneak into that first brush. Needs that cannon potentially to die. And then he can sneak into the alcove or into the next brush.
Oh, they find a hook. Oh, he was seen, but they get the dazzle off anyway. Rhydona making his way forward. The flash, the flay. Not enough as a double teleports to coming in, and this does not look to be ending quite yet. No, 2cuts is just peacing out.
Yeah, just immediately runs away. Monrobo matches the teleport and will likely just go back to base, get a recall off. I would be interested to grab a look actually at the mid lane, because if he has to walk back in the lane state, it's not too great. That would be why. Yeah, it looks like it's going to shove into 2 cups. So 2 cups, going to be pretty comfortable. Can actually get a reset off if he wants to, I think, but should instead. Looks like he's going to just walk back to the mid lane, catch that stacked wave. Robo lost a little bit more if you're trying to be super calculated on it from that teleport.
DBL having a pretty rough one up here versus Lucent as Sotsy obviously got that early first blood, and now DBL is just kind of playing the weak side of the map, although he does have a nice wave getting pushed into him, so should be able to catch some of this farm here.
Yeah, and I actually wonder how these 1v1s at level 6 are going to go, because Akali typically 1v1, you know, versus these sort of squishy damage dealers, she usually comes out on top. I can't really think of many other champions that just kind of outright 1v1 champs at level 6. Pretty like uncontested outside of maybe like Kha'Zix. Nocturne probably up there as well. You know, I take that back. The list is probably pretty long. I just can't think of all the champions. But Akali, she's very hard to lock down. She obviously has all that burst damage. Even, you know, just having access to the ultimate is typically enough to sort of just mute the response.
Akali good.
The enemy team. Akali good. Yes, exactly. And even though she did give over first blood, or more accurately, Sotsy cheesed first blood out of DBL, still finds himself in a pretty comfortable position. Isn't really down that much CS. He is crashing a wave, that's why I say down, even though right now he's got more numbers. Game likely to be slow until we see Thanatos.
There it is.
Snuck, yeah. Moonfall now probably wants to sneak into the mid lane, but will get spotted out by Scospora and that control ward. So position revealed. Looks like instead Dragon on the menu. Brydona is in the area, doesn't have level 6, could get it off of finishing off those Krugs though. However, didn't pick up that an additional skull. He has actually picked up, so okay. Assist XP enough, but in general, Lucent just not in position to contest this Dragon, so it doesn't even matter. Infernal, first of the game, and then an Ocean. Much like last game, I think that was the order of the Dragons.
You know, I actually in that last game did not pay attention to the Dragons at all. I don't even know what soul we were on. How bad is that? Ooh, for you. It was just everything was kind of going on outside of the Dragons. The Dragons didn't really feel that impactful in that game.
Yeah. I just took a second to think about it. You're right. I mean, I think at the end of the day, though, it definitely would have been a little more impactful for Bulldog just because, one, they were in the lead. Two, they were kind of an ultimate-reliant team to get fights started.
Yeah.
So the additional move speed, definitely very, very nice. Mid lane, haven't really had much of a look at it. It seems to have been a bit of a farm fest, all things considered. 2 cups, slowly growing a CS lead. Definitely going to have sort of the all-in pressure on the Veigar 1v1. So to be expected. You can see how far back Monoro is playing. Just a lot of respect to the dash of Yasuo through the creeps. A lot of trading power can come out, especially if he's got the Steel Tempest stacked up. Don't want to get caught in a lane ultimate. And I mean, honestly, Yasuo sometimes in lane, depending on the sort of the status of it, can just chuck out ultimates 1v1 just for the sheer HP chunk and pressure that can bring. Hasn't had to do it this lane, just because it's been so slow placed around the mid lane, but because of that, all the priority Envision have had around the mid lane will secure them that Rift Herald, and have to see where they want to put it. Aphelios definitely the prime candidate, you would imagine off the get-go, as Little Pants just trying to see where Fuyu is. Zone him off as much XP as possible.
Right, Dennis actually in the area. You can turn the tower off, remember, she's spotted out, but
teleport, deep teleport from DBL.
Yeah, they're looking to come in. They've got that big wombo combo, remember, from Jonatis and 2 cuts as DBL slides in, misses the Shuriken flip. The hook comes in, the Cosmic Radiance goes down, and Axelan just bolting away to safety. Has got the Chain of Corruption as the Cosmic Radiance wears off, and Little Pants will lose his life. They only lose 1 there, but with the Rift Herald now down on this side of the map, as you expected, probably going to look to give some gold over to that Aphelios.
Yeah, so 1 kill picked up for Envision. We have to think about what they could lose in the top side here. More importantly now, Lucent actually still sticking around. They've got ultimate. from Rhydona, and Excellent still here.
Oh, they get the stun off. Instant cleanse out. And a Lantern to use boot as well. But, you know, he gave a couple of plates over to Fuyu. Ultimately, though, it wasn't that tower. So, if you're losing, you can be a little bit happy with that. Your lane state not completely messed up.
Yeah, I think
so we have
more
a pause.
importantly, yeah, we have a pause. I think more importantly, though, they stopped the Herald. Herald didn't actually get put down, wasn't committed onto the tower, because I think they were actually going to go for the full tower kill there. And up in the top side, Sotzi secured at least, it had to be 2 plates up in the top side.
Yeah, he's 2 plates up.
Yeah, 2 plates up, crashed the wave. DBL missed a couple of waves there as well. So right now, the net swing of gold probably closer to Lucent favored than anything. You think about it. A wave is a little bit.
It is Lucent favored. It is. Yeah, at the moment.
The gold lead or the swing, because I'm
the gold lead at the moment is Lucent.
All right, because each wave, I always forget the specific number, but each wave is worth about 95 gold. Plus, obviously the XP. The 2 plates is 320. They only got 1 plate and a kill. Envision did. So you start to run the maths in. Considering the numbers committed by Envision, Lucent walk away super happy with that, if you ask me, even though they do lose little ones.
Absolutely. Looks like the pause has ended as well, so it wasn't a long one, luckily. But yeah, I mean, this game's definitely, you know, Lucent, it feels like I don't feel either team's in the driving seat right now. I think the lane state probably a little bit more Lucent favor, other than the mid lane, just because it is a Veigar versus a Yasuo. But lane state, other than that, in their favor. But it doesn't really feel like anyone has that particular driving seat, although Envision have been able to pick up more of these neutral objectives on the map.
Yeah, so far, they definitely have been. Just more focus and more priority in general from Envision is what gives them that advantage. Lucent, of course, remember, have to scale with that Veigar. Gwen as well has to come online, so a little more reliant on Iron Spikes. Accident as well realistically needs those 2 items. But the scary thing about it is you can kind of say the same thing for Envision. You know, 2 cups probably wants 2 items. And Fuyu, I mean, realistically probably wants 3, but, you know, from 2 is online. And at the very least, the Kali needs her Riftmaker. So definitely need that. Lucent, however, like you said, up 1,000 gold right now. Actually, could be swapped to the gold. I'm kind of curious to know where majority of that lead comes from, because bottom side 700, okay, that makes sense, in the top side. So it's mostly coming from there. Jungle and mid, you know, small increments there, 400, 300. About a kill up worth of gold. Definitely the side lanes where Lucent are finding those major advantages at the moment. As said, the mid lane was a incremental lead. It's about to turn into a slightly larger one. 2 cups, gonna get 2 plates there, 160 gold, but he's stuck in the cage, and Rhydona.
Oh,
okay.
That was a little scary.
Yeah.
He's able to get away though. Dragon spawning up in 24 seconds time. And Rhydona sees the fresh, eats the hook. Moonfall, last breath, they're locked down, but he launches over and Old Stones will secure the kill. Should just be the dragon picked up for Lucent. Although they have now used Moonfall and last breath, so maybe Lucent might look for some level of punish here, although that wind wall will be able to shut down the chains. The primordial burst as well as a bunch of damage put into Jornatis, and here comes Scissor Lady. Sniffing over, the flash comes down, got himself the Harrow Mist to work with him. That needlework is ripping through Jornatis as the Dazzle will secure the stun and Sotzi another kill. 2 cups getting snip, and cuts down. Monrobo will primordial burst in for the kill.
Yeah, real nice from Lucent. Actually, like you said, recognizing Moonfall, Last Breath, both down. Key ultimates and abilities for Envision to actually make these team fights work. And Lucent punish. They pick up kills and they get the dragon. Deny away a potential dragon snowball here from Envision. Would have been a Cloud Soul. Fuyu waiting in the bush here. He's got Graviton, got Flamethrower, flicking between which ultimate potentially he wants to use. The Dazzle, baby.
Excellent. He's going to be immortal, though, and Fuyu now recognizing his mistake. Going to get sent packing as a hail of arrows. Does a whole bunch of damage to him, and Lucent just got gifted a free kill. And meanwhile, 2 cups finds Monrobo. Monrobo not going to get hit by the knockup.
Oh, okay. Woo. Yeah, Monrobo almost, though. Just by the skin of his teeth. Dodges away from that knockup. As 2 Cups. It's going to be a while till he's online. We spoke about the item spikes. Bring it up because we're starting to see the Mythics slowly rolling across the board. Sotsy got that Riftmaker. Monroe has the Everfrost. Excellent does have that Prowler's Claw. And on the other side for Envision, only Juanitis with his Mythic actually completed at the moment is going to be that Rocket Belt, which we see oh so commonly. I think it is the only sort of first item. Sometimes you see Riftmaker, it's kind of rare. I think it's more dependent on the game. And occasionally we will see the Nash's Tooth starts, but that additional dash, so impactful.
I just feel like, oh, hold on, Little Pants just able to jump away as Monroe flashes forward, looks for the lockdown as 2 Cups are going to eat a bunch of damage, but the Lantern will bail him out. Bit of an odd one there by Monroe to go for the flash, but yeah, no, actually, just a bit of an odd one. I don't think I can justify that.
No, it's, you know, sometimes you go for a play, it doesn't work, you pack it up, go back to the drawing board, and you look for a replay. But Monroe not having flash. Sometimes you lose play, and I mean, realistically, it's a pretty big deal for him to not have flash, get hit by the knockup, Moonfall, whatever it is. You no longer have an additional sort of escape tool here. As I mean, Juanitis 2 Cups just going to force through this tower. Nothing much Monroe can do about it, and that's just a little bit of extra gold going into the back pocket of Envision.
Got 197 AP by the way at the moment on Monroe. A nice thing about Everfrost, this is Mythic passive, is more AP per item, per completed item, so yeah, even more for him to work with. We're still going to get started and finished up here by Envision. We'll see where they decide to use it, because we are seeing team fighting and fights going in favor of Lucent as Sotsy. About to be found out by DBL, has the old skip and slash to dodge away, but 2 Cups comes in. Steel Tempest is going to land, and there's the needlework as they find the knockup, they find the pullback, and it's the last breath for Sotsy as he will be taken out. He does find a kill though onto 2 Cups in response, but still, sorry, Juanitis, but still, he was worth a shutdown. So, pretty big win there.
Yeah, Envision's still probably going to be happy about that one, but it's more or less the response of what Lucent can get. I think Jungle Camp's on the bottom side. Right, okay, Rhydona's not interested in the Grump, apparently, that's fine. And they crashed the wave on the bottom side, so... oh, okay, they're going to donate over to Axel instead. It's totally fine. So yeah, still wasting Jungle Camps, but I mean, at the end of the day, the shutdown is what's kind of more important. I didn't actually quite catch how much gold the shutdown is worth.
It was 150, I believe.
Oh, wow, okay. So, pretty big one.
Yeah, 150 gold. On top of that, 450 kill. Absolutely worth it. They got the tower as well. Lucent, on the other hand, did not decide to push any further into the bot side. I thought because Juanitis had died and the Rift Tower had died, maybe they'd look to try and contest a bit of tower, but they decided not to go for it. And you can see now kind of the current gold on these teams, and how that's really reflected in the items is the big thing, because the Prowler's Claw's been finished up for Excellent, which is interesting because typically we've seen a bit of a return to the Duskblade build. Everfrost and a needlessly large rod from Monrobo as well. So it's going to be a nice bunch of AP over to Monrobo. The Primordial Burst is going to be hitting pretty hard.
Yes, it will be indeed. And we saw the power of this Veigar pick last week against Eminem. We might get to see it again today because there are so many squishy champions on Envision for him to one-shot. And the majority of them, you know, mobile, but in a way easy to cage up to hold that mobility. Can really shut that down. As posturing around this dragon, Lucent for now in control, but Envision, they want to try and posture for this mid lane.
DBL is on the flank in the fog of war right now. Riftel gets summoned in the mid lane, and there's the stun actually. They might get the Everfrost off as well. A lot of damage as the Primordial Burst blocked out by either the Wind Wall or the Stopwatch. I'm not sure which one. Lantern goes a little bit wider as the chain comes out. That's going to be a bunch of damage to Old Stone. Dazzle connects on, but nobody's quite in range to finish up as the Herald will get the charge off, and Sotsy won't be able to stop that. A bunch of damage into that tier 2 in the mid lane, but Sotsy will take it out before the tower goes down, and Old Stone's heavily chunked out. So we may just see that dragon get picked up by the side of Lucent now. No support available. But DBL still coming forward, still seeing if he can find an opportunity to find anybody to take out.
Yeah, but a couple of ultimates not there for Lucent, but the man advantage could be enough for Envision to kind of just give this one over. Again, they're not on spike just yet. They do want to wait a little bit longer, but the issue is the longer you wait, the more time you give to the likes of the Veigar Excellent as well. He's not on his true spike just yet. It looks like he's either going to go into either the Serpent's Fang or Youmuu's. I think it's probably going to be the Serpent's Fang.
I think Serpent's Fang is an insanely high value here with the 2 shield bows.
Yep, I agree with you as well. He's not going to have that Manamune stacked up for a little while. Not going to be transforming into the Muramana. So why not get the extra Serpent's Fang in there before you can get that transformation off? Definitely makes a little more sense. Not sure on the total maths on it actually, but I'll just chop it up to hey, you're reducing the shields, and there's a shield on almost everybody on Envision, so we'll let it slide. We'll see how much.
Technically there is, because you've got the Guardian and the Lantern, so everyone has a shield of some sort.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about it in terms of, like, you know, the sheer maths. I shouldn't be thinking about numbers like this mid-cast, but it's more like, you know, Serpent's Fang only gives 55 AD. The Muramana, once it's like completed, even like getting the Manamune, it's something ridiculous like 80 before it's fully completed. That just gives too much AD, to be honest with you.
For its cost, absolutely.
For its cost, and then obviously it has the on-hit passive too, which is kind of like unseen value. Though it does, I say unseen, it does technically tell you how much bonus damage it does on the tooltip of the item. But of course you have to factor in the lethality of Serpent's Fang. So anyway, point is, Serpent's Fang, thumbs up. Pretty decent buy here. No complaint.
Oh, Yasuo has a shield in his kit, just from his passive. I forget about that. He goes in for the last breath, actually. Sotzi got the needlework. He's going to dash away as Jornatis is coming in. Needlework goes a little bit wide. They pull him in, and the moon falls enough for Jornatis to secure the kill. That'll be another tower over to the side of Envision. Lucent, remember, they are fighting to avoid relegation right now. And
if they lose
getting picked off is not the things they need.
Yeah, they lose this game. Just as a stakes reminder, mathematically, they can't escape. They will finish 8th or 7th. Guaranteed. They will not have head-to-head on Envision, and Envision will actually just open up the gap to 6 wins, which will leave Lucent.
Looking for the cage. DBL's able to dodge away as they come in. He just perfect executions over the wall of safety. DBL's out of there.
Yeah,
meanwhile, bot lane, 2 Cups is free farming towers.
Yeah, and this, don't forget, tier 2 towers. Can't reiterate this enough. 600 gold. Oh, like that. This.
Imagine 600 gold to Yasuo.
Yeah, 1.8k. He's even going to wait here for the Crux to spawn, I think. He has the timer on it. Yeah, there you go.
It's a 3,000 gold lead between mid laners, by the way.
Yes, that is quite the substantial lead. Actually, the lead between 2 Cups and Monrobo in gold is, and Juanitis as well, is actually what's making this game even remotely Envision favored right now in terms of the gold.
Yeah.
Because it is side lanes for Lucent that are quite sternly ahead on either side, and that's IE picked up for 2 Cups now.
Oh no.
Got that additional zeal too, so he is so strong. And Yasuo plus Aphelios, the ability to take down a Baron is very much there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can already see they're actually just sort of eyeing it up right now. I think they've started it, if I'm not mistaken. And oh my goodness, this is a 22-minute Baron. Lucent, they don't like walking into things with this composition. They want Envision to come back into them. Baron's disengaged, but still, Lucent, it's going to be scary for them to make these kind of Baron approaches on a regular occurrence.
It is scary being in the pit, though, because Monrobo can just cage the front door and lock you in. And then you can kind of just be easy pickings for a whole bunch of free fire damage. You found the cage off, actually. Get the Everfrost as well. Dazzle's going to connect and dodges away on both the chains and everything, but Rhydona going to get briefly knocked up as there's a big bunch of damage coming in as well. Monrobo continuing to fire away. Oh! Old Stones. Now getting chased down as DBL trying to see if it can come in. Great cage once again by Monrobo. It's so hard as Sotzi jumps in. He's got the immunity. He's got the needlework. They're going to throw the Cosmic Radiance down, and it's invulnerability to the front line right now. The needlework gets blocked up by the wind wall, and Fuyu just about able to dodge away on the stun from the cage. The dragon spawning up somewhat soon, and And Vision, they've been chunked out. They need to reset once again. It's Old Stones. He's too low to step forward.
Yeah, he is. And Vision, though, they still got enough tools to still carry out a fight. They've got Perfect Execution, Moonlight Vigil, Last Breath, all available. Lucent, that ultimate from Veigar is coming back up, but he's running out of mana. He's actually getting pretty low on that
Yeah, it's got teleport.
Yeah,
he's just going to reset and teleport in.
Yeah, going to reset. And I think, actually, if he doesn't have the Archangels finished up, he's certainly going to transform it now. He's going to be pretty strong, but Envision are going to burst through this dragon quickly. I think they might fight after the fact.
It's a little bit too quick, and I just don't think the teleport was there in time. So Monrobo not able to join his team on that one. And Zotzi on the flank. May just look for a couple of members here. He's got the old snip, Fuyu. You're in trouble. You're ignited. He can flash over the wall, but they're continuing the assault here. The Great Lantern comes in to bail him out as here comes Jonathas. That's the last breath. Moonlight Vigil rips through everyone. A triple kill. On to the Yasuo. Make it a quadra kill. Make it a pentakill. 2 cups on the Yasuo. Popping off.
That is the combination we were worrying about for Lucent for the entirety of the game, and it finally comes to fruition. Moonfall into 3, and 2 cups cleans house off the back of it. Lucent, they just overcommit. Chasing onto Fuyu is not enough for him to escape. And honestly, the combination absolutely dirty. Stuff montages really. And Envision, the prize is gonna be the Baron. That could honestly be the fight that brings them out of relegations and seals Lucent's fate in it.
I'm not going to do the Baron. Are they? Did you? He sacrificed his life so the rest of the team can come back and finish Baron, so it didn't de-aggro.
But why did they leave? They were all...
I don't know. I
looked What? Dude, I was so caught up in the fact that we just saw a sick combination. I looked away because I was pretty certain they were going to do the Baron. Where were they all? It was at 1.5k.
Did he just say, I got this or something? I don't know.
But yeah, it starts off, Zotzi, you know, it's a nice flank angle. I'll be honest with you, but the Dazzle doesn't connect onto you. The Lantern comes out, the knockout comes in, but look at one is just the positioning. 3-man Moonfall into the Flamethrower Moonlight Vigil as well. It's just a murder in between the jungle of Envision, and Pentakill, rightfully so, goes over to 2 cups. He presses R key, he pressed right click a bunch of times. He dashed through. He's the main anime protagonist here.
I love our first pentakill of the UKLC is a Yasuo. Got the Guardian Angel as well, so that 1,000 gold shutdown going to be hard to pick up.
The split?
That's our first pentakill the split.
Are you sure? Is that like...
Unless there was one when I wasn't casting on one of the few days I wasn't casting.
Didn't we have one at like the start of the split?
Nope.
It could have been an NLC game. It actually could.
We haven't had one on NLC. That's the first pentakill we've had this.
No,
didn't Den
Voxnay get a pentakill on Kai'Sa at the very start?
No, it got stolen. We've had so many stolen pentakills. Yeah. It's actually a little sad.
Yeah, there was one yesterday. I think. Oh no, I'm thinking of the LC. Take that back.
Yeah, equal in level, to be honest. You know.
True. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I saw a flash, but it was just the weird particle effects there up in the top side from was it Hallowed Mist?
It's Hallowed Mist. You got Harrowed Path.
Yeah, for Viego.
Which is Viego, and then Hallowed Mist. 2 champs who came out at the exact same time and have pretty much the same name on their abilities.
Gotta love that. Play-by-play's worst nightmare.
Oh, God. Especially when they're both meta.
Yes. Oh. But, I mean, coming back down to the game, Lucent, dire straits, really. Not really much more they can do as all the Moonfall last breath. Yeah,
I mean, there's not much you can do about that one. It's going to get caught by the Dazzle, but DBL's teleported in. And 2 cups with the Baron buff, being able to take that inhibitor. They're lanterning in. It looks like this could just be the game. So they're going to make sure they take another wave here, another tower. 2 cups just going to continue to zone away as the Old Stones get the layoff. They get the knockoff from 2 cups, and he's done a lot of damage. The Moonlight Vigil comes in as the Gravitum to spread around, but Zotzi gonna get cut down by DBL, and this is gonna be the game. The Cosmic Radiance may off-put the charge for the moment, but they've still got that Shuriken flip from DBL. But Envision, they're not even fussed about finding the win here. They are about getting the kills here. They are looking to close this game out. Jonathas will lose his life, sacrificing his life for the cause. There's 2 cups finds himself a kill. We'll have his GA popped here. Has to be a little bit careful as... Oh, no, he flashes out, able to dash out to safety as well. Is almost caught out by the slows. Once again, finds the knock-up into the last breath, and Monrobo finds the 1,000 gold shutdown. As Roydona trying to hold on to this game. DBL has to be careful thanks to the shield, but the stun connects onto Old Stones, and DBL goes in for a quick stopwatch, trying to get himself this tower, but he's going to get shut down by Roydona. He can see you under the tower, mate. It doesn't work like that anymore. The game's not over.
Game's not over, and just a brief reminder, even though this game is probably over, let's not forget what happened yesterday between Luce and Not. Because I will say the game state wasn't, you know, the game state yesterday was definitely a little more London favored than this. Which pretty scary to think about when Envision have this lead, just by the way. And it turned into a 50-minute game. Now, I am just giving, you know, a brief bit of potential hope here to Luce, if anything. But Envision definitely getting a bit carried away, having a little bit of fun on the back end, and it will cost them a little bit of time. Fortunately, there's no Baron or anything up like that, so there's no huge cost. But yeah, fight spread out amongst, you know, multiple fronts. They're trying to kill Sotsy and Vision on the top side. They certainly do that. But it's Fuyu who I think just grabs tower aggro, walking a little bit too far forward. And if they have Fuyu, they can certainly end, no questions asked. But without that AD carry, life gets a little bit harder. And you can see they're working with effectively, 4 melee champs, right? Thresh range, sure, but his ability is not so much. As just ever so slowly with Monrobo coming back out, able to defend 1-for-1. Two Cups almost burst him down, but the R-key is too powerful. And Lucent, they still stand, but on very shaky leg.
I don't even think. I think they're sitting down, mate, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, they might be.
That tower is a light fart from falling down. And Vision they're playing it slow. They're waiting for the minion waves to crash in and be a real nuisance on the side.
Yeah, I reckon if Yasuo nadoed the tower, it might fall over.
Yeah.
Actually, do you remember that cinematic from a couple of years ago? Do you remember how big Yasuo tornadoes actually are?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, they're massive. They're like...
I mean, it is literally a tornado.
Yeah. We thought it was a prank. We thought it was like just a gust of wind, maybe like 10 feet tall or whatever.
Although, what was he like in the Yone one? What was his tornado like in that? Did he use it? No, he ulted off Yone
in that one, off of Yone, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool cinematic, by the way.
Cool cinematic. I mean, Liam O'Brien is such a good voice actor, so he really sells Yasuo.
Yes, he's
Illidan as well.
He's also Gaara in Naruto.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And he kills that role too. So
he's very good at edgy characters. He's very, very good at playing edgy characters.
Yes, he is. Seems to be a speciality.
Sad. Sad bear. Sad. Oh, happy bear.
Okay, yeah. Happy bear. Well, sad because he's probably about to lose the game, but happy that he's alive.
Yeah,
maybe least... watch his team lose.
Ooh. I mean, there's still a lot of damage coming out from Monrobo, but he just hasn't had the effect we wanted. And Moonfall on a very short cooldown because of the dragons they've been able to pick up. Little Pants going to be able to get the dazzle off as they put the wall up to block a bunch of damage, and there's going to be the Cosmic Radiance. Two Cups has to jump away. He's trying to get that sustain, trying to keep himself alive, but the needlework's going to come through and they find the shutdown. DBL jumps in, stopwatches as the Moonlight Vigil spreads. There's the double kill picked up for Sotsy, but VU will make short work of the final inhibitor. Can Lucent hold on anymore? They are farming shutdowns. They are farming this additional gold as VU dodges out on that arrow.
Lucent are fighting for their UKLC life right now. They lose this, they are in the relegation series later on. I think it happens at the end of this month. I'm actually not too sure. I'll have to double check.
I think it's August.
I think it's late August. But yeah, replay of this fight. A lot of damage comes out of Excellent here. And Sotsy between the two, able to pick up Old Stones and DBL, and then of course Two Cups. And Vision, they do have to worry about this composition. There's a lot of scaling damage. Gwen often talks about as one of the best sort of side lanes at the moment. Obviously, we've seen more team fights than side lane fights. And Monrobo on the Veigar, it goes without saying, an infinitely scaling champion is infinitely scaling. Look at the damage coming out of Axton right there. 15,000 competitive with 2 Cups, with Quanitus, who have found all of these multi-man last breaths of Moonfall.
Wait, you're meaning to tell me that the poke champion that's been broken for this entire season does a lot of damage?
Yes, that is exactly one.
When he has 4 Jornasis, finds a bear. There's also a surfer in there, or a lifeguard, I guess, in this skin. It's a fabulous skin. Tarek's rework. I like reworks in general are good, but Tarek's rework was pretty good.
Yeah, this is the thing about Tarek. I feel like it's balanced, isn't it? Like it's not.
Yeah.
Like there's clear counterplay, there's clear windows to operate around the champion.
The only time Tarek's been broken was when something else was really broken and he just happened to suit it.
Yeah, you know,
like funneling Yi
type. Yeah, funneling.
Like that's like that wasn't Tarek being broken. That was Yi being ridiculously broken, and that meta being horrible.
Benefiting ridiculously.
And Tarek just synchroed up well into that.
Yeah. There was also that weird interaction where, for some reason, if you cast Dazzle during Alpha Strike, it would just give Yi a free stun on whichever target he was on.
Yeah.
Which they fixed, by the way. They removed that. But
thank God they fixed. Oh, chains come out. They get the cage onto nobody. Old Stone's able to survive as the Graviton from Fuyu stuns out Little Pants for a momentary moment. As the inhibitor will go down, and the turret will make short work of that. Envision are struggling to close this game out. This game should have ended probably 8 minutes ago, but...
Yes. Well, it's the power of all the wave clear of, likes of this stacked up Varus, Monrobo as well. They can't engage. They're running into the same problem MNM are running into just several minutes later in time. Because again, you look at the engage options of Envision, they're not great. You can't just force. Directly in front of Lucent without flash. It's going to be difficult. And the Super's not here yet. They're coming on this wave. See him up in the top side, coming through the mid lane right now, and still a long ways away in the bottom side.
Well, now got a bunch in the base.
Yeah.
They need to deal with this mid wave though, so the wave can push in. And Sotsy able to go off. They get the stun off on two cuts. He's rooted. He's locked down. The Moonlight Vigil comes down. They're looking for the opportunity to find the killers. He does get Little Pants, but Sotsy able to get the survival off at the moment. The bear goes down, and the resurrection's coming in. DBL jumps out to safety as he has to stopwatch from a little bit of the damage. As Fuyu also going in for the stopwatch. Everybody's going golden, but only one team can come first place, and that is going to be Envision, as they will take the win in this game. One last stopwatch just to get stylish here, as Envision take out Lucent, and Lucent now forced into the relegation tournament.
Yeah, gonna be playing in relegations later on in the year. Envision keep themselves above water, and more importantly now, keep themselves competitive for that 4th spot. There is so much contention for that 4th and final spot of playoffs. Obviously, I speak about it like that. London, MNM, Resolve, all currently 7 and 4.
Yeah.
Looking most likely to be in that top 4. Of course, anything can happen in these final 3 games, as those top 4 teams actually still have to play each other after our next segment here.
Yeah.
So a lot of shuffling to go on there. Big win for Envision. It looks pretty dominant. Yes, a bit slow to close out. I think just the nature of the Lucent composition, and honestly, commiserations to Lucent. I think to end up in relegations, it's a bit of a tough situation. There was a lot of roster shuffling throughout the split. But they started to show a slightly different side to themselves.
I think that's the key thing.
The latest part.
I do think that is the key thing as well, because their later half of the season has been very good. Even in that game, even when they were getting completely destroyed, they still hung on to that game. They still showed some signs of life. And unfortunately for Lucent, it wasn't enough. Anyway, it's time for us to throw to a break. When we're back, we'll have an interview with Leviathan, the coach from the side of Envision, and we'll talk a little bit more about that game. So we'll see you in a moment.